Hey everyone, it's Cygnus, and today we're going to be draining an ocean the really cool way. Make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It means a lot to me and it helps out the channel. Also, it's free. No reason not to. Anyway, without further ado, let's get right into the video. I really want all the Madium ore, or whatever it's called. That stuff is super valuable and super hard to get, and I want to make the Allthemodium Star. However, I kind of need Allthemodium or Allthemodium, Vibranium, ores that are really rare. And when I say really rare, I mean like really rare. In fact, if we go over here, we can see Allthemodium ore only spawns in ocean biomes from Y5 to 45, and not often either. So that means this ore is going to be really difficult to get. It only spawns in specific biomes and not often. So I need to get Allthemodium first, and the best way to do that is to mine in the ocean. However, the ocean presents some obvious complications. Most apparently, it's the ocean. Mining down here is a pain. Even with enchantments to make it easier, the flooding is difficult and the drowned are annoying. I can handle everything that's down here, but I don't want to, because it makes mining messy and makes it laggy. I don't want to really just sit down here drowning all the time, trying to get the ore, only to never find it. Now, the practical solution to this would be to get some sponge, if I had any, and clear it out, or use sand and make a large ring, clear it out, and then mine within the vicinity of that area. However, that's a little too limited for me. I need something that is large scale, mobile, and allows me to clear out potentially an entire ocean biome, all of it, without needing really much at all. And I've come to a solution for that problem. Now, Create offers some interesting options for automation. There is, for example, as we've already used, the hose pulleys, which can drain bodies of water and move the water somewhere else. Where it goes, it doesn't really matter. It also has systems called gantry shafts. Now, I haven't used these in any of my videos so far, but let me show you what they do. They're very simple and they are very functional. So you place a gantry carriage on it and the gantry shaft can move side to side and you can extend structures from it. Now you're probably thinking, okay, so you build some kind of pulley system over the ocean and it drains. Well, gantries by default only move in one dimension. So it's either left, that was right, or the other way, like left or right. It doesn't matter. They can do this. Now, I am a little clever, and I happen to be a fan of arcades. Well, arcades have one of my favorite little toys at them, the claw machine. I think you know where this is going. So, claw machines operate on a very simple premise. You have two axes that go side to side. One goes, say, the x-axis, the other goes on the z-axis. They create a sort of X. The claw itself is where the two axes meet, the actual, I think it's called a vertex. I don't know, I'm not good at math. At the vertex, you actually have the claw. So by moving one or both of the two little rods lets you move and precisely control the position of the claw. In fact, many things in engineering use this. It's actually, we do a lot of construction with this. Weirdly enough, you wouldn't think a claw machine would make its way into a construction building, but really, look it up. We have cranes that's what they do. Now, building that in Minecraft, a little bit harder. However, I've come up with a way to do it. Yes, I have essentially built a claw machine in Minecraft. Now, I didn't build it on here because I wanted to build it with you guys. I built a prototype in a single player world in creative mode on a super flat world, and it worked. It worked perfectly. Now, I have over here all of the items we're going to need to build this structure. It's a lot. It is a lot. Let's go ahead and get started, and I'm going to start collecting the parts and then building out into the ocean, way out there, the structure we're going to be working with. We have a lot of things to build. Let's go get to work. First and foremost, we need to build some flywheels. We actually need two of them, so we're going to get everything here. There we go. It's going to build a flywheel. I need to build two of them. I think I might have one, actually. This is going to build. I'm gonna build another one, then we'll move on to the next thing we have to build. And what is a flywheel without its furnace engine? So we're going to also make those. Those are very easy to make. It's very similar. We just have to, I think, move one part around. Put that there, and let's get a cog. And then we just have to build the furnace engine. So we'll build 2 of those, and then move on to the next things we need to build. And it's going to be a lot of them, because we are doing a 64 by 64 area here. I'll explain more later. All right, we're now in the windmill, because we needed to crush some stuff. I needed to make some copper sheets. So there's a couple things that we need to make here. First, so we need to make a hose pulley. We need 2 of them. Now we have 2 hose pulleys. We're going to need some pipes. I actually don't have the fluid pipes saved. And we also need to have our mechanical pumps. So fluid pipes, we actually only need 8 of them. I know, that's shocking. And mechanical pumps, we need 2 of them. So gonna end up needing more than 7 fluid pipes. Let's go ahead and make another batch. There we go. We have more than we need. We're going to need gantry shafts. So we're going to need 128 gantry shafts because we're doing 64 by 64. And there we have 64 and 64 gantry shafts. And we'll need 2 gantry carriages. We'll need 4 gear shifts. We'll need 2 vertical gearboxes, which we can make from normal gearboxes, which are considerably easier to make. There we go, there we go. So we can get those and turn these into vertical gearboxes. Just like that. And what else are we going to need? Linear chassis. So do we have linear chassis or can we make them? We can. We're going to only need, though, 5 linear chassis. So we can just make the 6 and keep it at that. That is pretty much everything that we need. We'll make the redstone links. We need 8 redstone links. Oh, we have run out of brass sheets. Let's fix that. All right, that's all the brass sheets that we need, and we can actually turn that into the last 4 redstone links, which we have here. 1 and 2. There we go. Put all those ingots back. We don't need them in our inventory. And I think that's everything we need. We'll make another tube of super glue though, because we're gonna need a lot of glue. And I mean a lot of super glue. We're connecting a lot of things together here, okay? It's gonna make a lot of sense soon. So let's get out to the ocean and get started with building this. Okay, here we are back in the ocean, building up a little pillar because there's a reason for this. And I am going to start this little process. So there is one extra thing we're going to need, but I'm not too worried about it. We're gonna need a lot of cogs. So let's see how many we have. 49, we're just gonna need 64 cogs. So let's go ahead and make our last few cogs. And we will also need just a few of the large cog wheels, but we have so many of those, it's really not that much of a concern. Let's get started with building this. So it's going to be 64 by 64, and I will explain why that is, or rather, how that's going to work in just a moment. So I'm gonna lay out the area for this, and then you'll see what's going on with it. So I have built here a very simple little mechanism. So what this is this is a gear shift. So we have 2 gear shifts feeding into a clutch. This is a gearbox. The only purpose for this gearbox is just really to have this, and you can condense this. I prefer to have it a bit out just in case. So how this is going to work is this is going to spin all the way down this. It can go all the way to the other end. And there is going to be a chain of cog wheels going all the way across. It's going to take a little bit to build. But once that's on, essentially, this right here will control this axis. So this right here is the Z axis. This will control the Z axis. This one, connected over to this set, controls the X axis, where a second gantry shaft is on that axis. Now there are dead spots that this can't technically reach. It operates in a large box, but it's honestly, for what it's worth, it's quite good. Now we can actually start extending this out, and I'm going to run this all the way to the end and come back to you once I have a bit more of it built, and you'll start to see it take shape. Alright, and now we've connected the flywheel, and we have that long area and this gantry shaft, or this gantry carriage. This gantry carriage is actually what's going to be doing most of the work, and this is where the glue is going to come in handy. We're going to be building a little structure underneath this that's going to essentially power our water collection system, and it's going to pump it out. We're probably going to pump it into the nether, or I might have another project coming up that's going to be using all of the water we're going to slurp up from the ocean. Maybe turning the entire end into an aquarium? That sounds pretty fun. Or we could just make a giant aquatic moon ball. I think that would be cool. Just put a giant ball of water in the sky, encased in glass. Yeah, we'll probably do that. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on with building this. I'm going to get a couple steps ahead with this, and then I'll come back to you and tell you what's going on once we get there. Alright, so we've constructed the basis of the actual pump itself using a flywheel. This is the system that's going to actually power this, and all of this stuff is connected with a whole lot of superglue, and that's sort of why we needed all of this. There's a lot going on here. Now I can already see a problem appearing. Ah, wait, no. I forgot how that works. So I will just need a large cog, which we have in our inventory, and I'll need one shaft, which we can just get right there. Slap that on there, slap a bit of glue on it, and attach a large cog right here. So that's going to spin that. Now, hopefully, you can't really see it. Hopefully, we won't need to turn it. If we do, it's pretty easy to do. Done that one. Now we just have to do the other side. Let's get another shaft. There we go. There's another shaft. And we can attach more glue and another large cog. So that should spin. Now we just have to make sure everything is going in the correct direction. So let's go ahead and power this, and we can see is everything going where it's supposed to. This is gonna have to come out a little bit farther. That's fine. We can do that and glue another one. There we go. That's going outward. That's going inward. So we will need to invert this, looks like, and that's okay. So that's why we have the other gear shift. Needed to know which one was going to be inverted. It's that one. And now we can power it like that. Actually, we will need to attach this with more glue. I think there was enough glue there, actually, and I'm just being paranoid, but you can never be too sure. Yep, that's all glued up. Attach a redstone block. Now it's spinning the other direction. So now that's doing that, that's doing that. Yeah, looks like these are switched. So we'll just do that real quick and get that fixed up. And then hopefully these will be turning the direction they're supposed to. Because I bet if we turn off that, that will start it. Yep, so they're backwards. So let's go ahead and take the power out of this and get it switched up and fixed. Alright, I think we've switched everything up the way it's supposed to be switched up. Let's go ahead and check, and we're going to need to add one more linear chassis here so everything properly connects, and I used the wrong direction. Okay, let's go ahead and power this baby and see what it does. Okay, so those are all going outward as they're supposed to. Both pumps have gone down. This is looking good. This is what it's supposed to do. Now, the real test is going to be making sure everything here is stuck together properly, and I already see I didn't glue all of this down, so that's a problem. It may seem like it's okay. I promise you, everything needs to be glued, even if it doesn't look like it needs to be glued. This needs to be glued on, because this whole contraption will move. It's gonna move a lot, too. So let's actually make sure all of this is also glued. Well, actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and do a test. We can do a simple test, and the great thing about this is if anything breaks, we just move it back. Yeah, we can just put it back where it's supposed to go. So let's go over here. Let's get some logs, because they make their own fuel. We'll put some blaze stuff in there. We don't need this powered. We need to invert this one here. See? And just like that, we have a system that is just so cool to me. But of course, I don't want to be having to figure this whole process out every single time I want to power this. Let's go ahead and turn this off. Like that. Oh, that's the wrong one. Ooh, we didn't even glue that down. That's an issue. Let's go ahead and fix that real quick. Backpack should suck it up. And now we can go back into our backpack, get that, and reconnect. There we go. Now it should be glued, and now the gantry should move in the direction we need it to move. So if we break all of these, should be able to do that. Now, if we reverse this using the gear shift, it should carry the contraption that way. Yep. So this is going to start pulling in water from the ocean and kind of just doing nothing with it right now. It's not going to do anything, and that's okay. We don't need it to. So we can go ahead and turn this whole contraption off by blocking off the clutches, and that's going to stop the contraption. That over there, we don't really care if it runs, but we're going to go ahead and take out the fuel so it stops. And then we're going to get to the step that makes this whole process a teensy bit easier. Oh, we even got the achievement. Draining the ocean. And yeah, there's a leak. Alright, so I don't want this whole contraption to need me to be up here. That's a lot of work. Instead, we're going to operate this through a very simple process using redstone. So we're going to place some redstone links up here. There we go, there we go, there we go, and there we go. So this is controlling the Z-axis, this is controlling the Y or the X-axis. So we're going to assign stairs to each of the axes, so spruce and cobblestone. This is just to keep them in line. So the Z-axis, to turn it on using the clutch, is going to be stone at the top, and to control which direction it goes, it's going to be stone on the bottom. To turn on is going to be wood on top and wood on bottom for which direction it goes. That will let us control the axes of this remotely. Now, of course, we do have to turn all of these into receiving mode. And let's go down there and build up a little control station where we can actually have this whole system running properly. Now, before we do so, I did just realize I have to place the ender tanks that are going to be used as our sort of storage solution for this, since, well, this is a little not pretty. I don't really like this. I'm gonna need a bucket to actually fix that. Hold on. Okay, random pillar of water is fixed. Let's go over here and build up a little control station for our system. It's going to be very easy to build. All right, so we've got the premise of this down, and it's not fully functional because I haven't added the cogs all the way down, but in essence, it's working because we can turn this system like that and it will roll itself all the way back, and it's not supposed to be fast. We don't really care how quick it goes. It's more that it's controllable. So we can control this system back and forth wherever we need it to be, and we can stop it anywhere we want it to go. So we want it to stop there, so we're going to stop it there. It's going to lock in place, and it's just going to sit there and now start sucking up water in that area. So we can actually do that anywhere in this square. That's a massive area to be able to drain the entire ocean without having to place a single block of sand. Now, to finish it up, we're going to clean up the cobblestone over there and probably add a little area where we can and we're going to finish up the cogs all the way across, and then finally add a way to access that so we can refuel it without having to fly up there. So I'm going to go get some flying and come back with enough cogs to finish that system. All right, and it's now time to finish this system up. This is going to take a while and it's going to be slow. Oh, it should not be on while we're up here. Let's go ahead and turn this off, but proof of concept, it does work. So we can go ahead and turn this off. Okay, so we had the controls mixed up a little bit. Up is going to be off because we have to send the redstone signal, and down is going to be on. So it's a little bit of an inversion, but that's fine because we need the clutches to be on. So now that the clutches are on, we can actually get to building this thing properly. And just like that, we have the system that we need. And this system is fully operable and can be turned on literally whenever we need it to. So we can just start draining the entire ocean whenever we want. And it doesn't really matter when we want to do that. Only downside is getting to that to fuel it might be a little bit annoying, but we can just put in resources that take a little while to burn up. So we'll go ahead and get down onto it. We just get a little angle there. We'll put in more logs and more blazes. There we go. And now that's fueled. So that's going to start pulling up the water from the ocean, and we'll see it start to work. It's going to take a long time, but hey, it's better than having a place to sand myself. In the meantime, we're just going to need to send this water somewhere else, and there's two places we can do that. We can either flood the end, which I kind of want to do, but we'll have enough water to do that later, or we can just have all of this pumping out into the nether, which coincidentally we have a system in the nether already. It's going to make that very easy to do. So let's go ahead and go that direction and see what we can do about that. So we have here a little simple flywheel system that has been pulling lava from here, though not too consistently. Now, it would be remarkably easy to just attach an ender tank here, attach a mechanical pump to the ender tank, and just pump out everything we need. And that was interesting. So we can actually do exactly that because we don't actually need anything like it to go anywhere. And just like that, this is going to be pumping water. Obviously, it's not going to pump anything right now, but if we head back to our water pump, we can actually see it at work. So this is successfully pumping water into here. It's not exceptionally fast, and we could probably speed it up in the future, but for now, this is going to drain the ocean. It's not the quickest, it's not the most efficient, but it is going to slowly lower the water level of this entire ocean block by block. Hi, Cygnus from the future here. This will drain the ocean on my world, but it might not on yours. I edited a server config file to increase the maximum area that the host pulley can draw from, but normally anything over 10,000 blocks, it just considers infinite. I bumped that up to a few billion so it can drain this ocean. I don't recommend trying that on your own worlds though, as it creates a lot of lag when the machine runs. My computer can handle it, which is why I was willing to do it, but just in case it doesn't work on yours, thought I should let you know. Back to the video. Now, that is a lot more effective than Sponge, in my opinion. I think this is going to do a lot more to this ocean biome than anything else will. Now, you're probably thinking, wait, but water itself is a source block. With Create, that doesn't matter. The achievement we got earlier actually sort of speaks to that, because the achievement was draining the ocean, and it's putting one of these systems connected to an ocean. So if we were to leave this for, I don't even know how long, we would see the water level begin to dip. Now, it's gonna take a while, but we have a lot of time. We are on day 316, and I am perfectly fine with waiting 316 more days for this entire thing to be drained out. And you know what? I can probably just leave the world on in the background with myself in a boat so that my hunger doesn't drain, and we can get this entire ocean cleared out before the next video, though that might be a little presumptuous of me. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It'd mean a lot to me and it helps out the channel a ton. We just hit 1,000 and I'm hoping to get to 10,000 pretty soon. Also, go check out my social media stuff. I have a TikTok I'll be posting to, and I'm pretty active on Twitter. Anyway, I'll see you all in the next episode. Bye-bye.